I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm headed to the arcade. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm bringing everything I made. I got a callus on my finger and my shoulder's hurting too. I'm gonna eat 'em all up just as soon as they turn blue. 'Cause I got Pac-Man fever. It's driving me crazy.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Geek Talk MD.
Yeah.
I'm Moses. That was Dave, being
Again.
really sad. Okay, and today's subject is video games again.
And again.
And again, video games revisited. We decided that we because there was such a a minefield of subjects to cover, and we also felt that we needed a younger perspective because our previous guests Andrew and Pete were actually more closer to our age range, and the target audience for video games is considerably younger. So we decided to give a younger group a try. So
And as well, we got some requests to talk a little bit more about some video game stuff that we may have missed or may have misinterpreted, so bring it on. So, video games, again,
And
part 2, and then again.
we brought, as I said, younger guests. So today we have with us my very own son, Joshua.
Hi.
And a friend of mine who I haven't seen in quite a while, actually, Jonah.
Howdy.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
And you guys, as far as I understand it, are really into video games in a big way. So
Yes.
Yeah. So, let's just jump straight into it. I mean, we don't have to go through what we talked about in the previous episodes. People can go ahead and listen to that. But when we chatted a little bit there, Yona, we were talking, and you had said something about someone named Steve Russell, some con artist or something?
Yes. Not the con artist.
Are you
the
sure?
Communist. I clearly put in the email, Steve Russell, not the con artist. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My.
I was talking about a young man from 1962 who made a very early video game.
Ah, yes.
His nickname is Slug.
Slug. Nice.
Steve Slug Russell. He made it in college using supercomputers in 1962.
Oh. And what about him? Who's he?
Well, the most important thing is that he made one of the earliest video games,
is it?
and that's Space War.
Do you
That
remember what it was
his game,
like?
and
Kinda...
I know that I've seen tons of gameplay. I'm a retro nerd. I know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but during the time, the only place he could play it was in his college, where he had it up for
Right.
display, and tons of people came around just to play it. But there were two men who had the chance to play it, and when they did, it inspired them to rip it off and make money off it.
Nice. That's the way it should be.
The American
Yes.
dream.
Yes. One of those men was named Nolan Bushnell.
Nolan Bushnell.
Yes, and
Was
he
that
took-
was that a made up name too?
Well,
No,
Bushnell,
that's-
actually, that's the name of a big company that's noted for making some of the best telescopes and
Oh, this has
so no relation
doesn't have anything to do
whatsoever.
with it.
Go on.
He replicated the game and put it in a small TV in a large fiberglass container, and it was the first coin-operated video game, period. And it was
Really?
called yes, and it was called Computer Space.
Computer Space. And a
Yeah.
really catchy name.
Yes.
This is before the marketing department, I guess.
Yeah. There were they had tons of different versions of it, multiplayer ones, single-player ones, and they all came in these very ludicrous 70s colors that you would expect from the 70s, but
Oh yeah.
it was fairly popular.
Cool. Well,
Yep.
did he have anything to do with the inevitable evolution of some of the other games that we are a little more familiar with, like the?
When it comes to Nolan and Slug, I don't know about Nolan. I know that Slug got a lot of awards for his contribution to what would become modern video gaming.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
He's got the exact same award as some of the other most famous video game creators of our time. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
He doesn't do much nowadays aside from get money and respect. So
wait a second. When he set up his game, when Slug set up his game at the college, was he charging people to play, or you have no idea?
From what I recall, I do not think so. I think he just put it up for display.
You know, one would think that he would have come up with a better name. Even Slug Vaders would have been better.
Slug Vaders. Well, it wasn't like Space Invaders. It was two small triangles, and those were the spaceships, and they would fly around shooting each other.
Oh, so it was kind of like Omega Race.
In a way, but what happened? The idea, kind of similar to not Space Invaders, asteroids.
Asteroids, all right.
You could fly off the screen, and you would show up on another part. And the other big gimmick for it that I found very impressive for the time was that in the middle of the screen, there was the sun.
Oh.
And the sun has its own gravitational pull. So when you shoot a bullet at it, the bullet would curve, and it led to a huge amount of strategy into how you play it.
I don't remember.
Interesting.
I don't remember anything like that for asteroids. Asteroids didn't have gravity.
Not
Yeah,
asteroids.
no.
Not asteroids.
did Omega
This is
Race.
space.
Interesting.
No, this was something purely for Space War.
So it's better than most of the game's physics that came after that, then.
Yeah, really. I would have liked to see some of that in some of the other games.
And interestingly enough, when Nolan Bushnell made the arcade version of it, he added another thing to the game, which was, I don't remember what he called it. It was like hyperspace or whatever. You pressed a random button, and your ship would disappear, and it would pop up somewhere else on the screen entirely.
Oh, wait a second. I remember this. Wait, or was that a different game later? 'Cause I seem to remember this.
I don't know, but it was pretty much your wild card, your risk taker. If you were like, oh, I'm gonna get shot, boop, I'm out of here.
Oh my god! Oh, so you said there were two people that stole the game from Slug. Who was the other guy?
Yes, there were. The other guy was Ralph H. Baer, spelled B-A-E-R. Mr. Bear. Let me look at my notes here.
Mr. Bear.
Yes, Mr. Saw it as the future of entertainment and made the first video game home console during a collaboration with a company, and that company was Magnavox.
So he created the Pong set, or whatever it was
The
called.
Odyssey, the
Odyssey,
Magnavox
that was
Odyssey,
it. Right,
in
yeah.
August of 1972. But
So
unlike...
So in this case, the bear didn't shit in the woods.
No.
Maybe he did.
The
Who
bears come
knows?
down to the woods today. The bears come down to the woods.
Okay.
But unlike modern game consoles, how it worked was that it had a game built inside of it, and with every cartridge you put in, the game would change.
Yeah.
That's how the Odyssey works. So.
Yeah.
So the cartridges were in the form of DLC, then?
Sure, that's a great way of putting it.
That was pretty much the way video game systems worked for quite a while.
The problem was that Mr. Bear did not enjoy the whole idea of the overlays. He saw that Magnavox was looking at less as the future of entertainment and was looking at more as like a board game, kind of the ways they were handled.
Yeah.
So Mr. Bear didn't actually appreciate how Magnavox was taking it.
Right. So he was more like the grumpy Papa Bear then, not so much.
Pretty much.
So Magnavox in this version is Goldilocks?
That works
And was
surprisingly
eating
well.
his porridge and sitting in his chair and sleeping in his bed?
That works surprisingly well.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I sense a conspiracy.
I think so. You see, everyone's getting ripped off. So how did this get into some of the more memorable characters? I mean, we had talked last time a little bit about Atari. I'm not going to delve too much more into that. And then Atari had this big,
The 2600.
yeah.
Oh,
well,
my.
and then they had the big nosedive after E.T. and
Yeah.
I think it was the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think
They
it was.
buried all the games in New Mexico, along with a few Ataris.
And they dug him
Right.
up again fairly recently.
Yes, and they sold them for a ludicrous amount of money.
Go figure.
Isn't that how the world works nowadays?
So I guess it wasn't until Nintendo came along with Donkey Kong and the Mario series that it really kind of...
Oh, can I get into Mario?
Hey,
Please.
easy. We're not talking about that kind of stuff.
I would love to.
Yeah, we could definitely go
Okay,
on.
get the lube, boys.
Okay. Well, here's the story as how it goes.
Once upon a time.
Well, no. Way back when, Shigeru Miyamoto, who we know now is the creator of Mario,
Yep.
worked for Nintendo because his father offered him the job. His father was great friends with the current president of Nintendo and said, "Hey, my son's an imaginative guy."
Nepotism!
Miyamoto's first game was called Radar Scope
Nice.
for the arcades. And
That
I'm going to
rings
tell
a
you this
bell.
right now. It was horrible.
Okay.
It sold terribly. It was a complete flop. And let's just say the president of Nintendo was very upset.
Yeah,
He was
I guess.
very upset. So what he did was that he requested Miyamoto to take every Radar Scope machine and repurpose them in a game.
Okay.
Miyamoto wanted to make a game based on one of his favorite shows at the time. Do you know what show that was?
No.
Popeye.
Ah, there we are.
Wait a second, I remember a Popeye video game.
You probably do, but Donkey Kong was originally supposed to be a Popeye game, and if you think about it, the characters kind of work. You know, Mario's Popeye, Donkey Kong is Bruto, and Pauline is Olive Oil.
That's a good point. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see that.
but basically what happened was because of the massive loss, they couldn't afford the rights to the characters,
Oh.
so Miyamoto made his own characters for it, and
Okay.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I was doing a little bit of reading a while back about Donkey Kong, and... What?
Keep going.
And oddly enough, what really surprised me was that when the game first came out, there was actually a booklet with a backstory. There was a booklet that came out with the Donkey Kong game that actually gave a backstory of the characters, and it actually blew me away. That
Really?
Mario wasn't originally a plumber. He was
That's right.
he was a circus worker. He was the gorilla's trainer. But
Yes,
according
that's true.
but according to the booklet, he was actually mistreating and torturing the gorilla, and that's
Yep.
why the gorilla stole his girlfriend. So believe it or not, you're actually, and when you play Donkey and all those Mario games, you're playing the villain. You're
Man,
playing
if I
an
knew-
asshole that abused an innocent, defenseless gorilla.
If I knew
Have you
that, I
played-
would have played more of it.
No. No, it's even worse in Donkey Kong Jr. In that game, you're playing as the monkey's kid, and you're trying to save him from Mario.
Oh, look at that. The
Did you
plot
just-
thickens.
Yes. And then in Donkey Kong 3, you're playing as this completely unnecessary jerkhole who's trying to spray bug spray up Donkey Kong's junk.
Because he's a
Ooh.
bus.
Okay, so here's something that's going to bake your noodle.
Bake away.
Wario is a hero.
What?
Wario? Oh, no.
Yeah,
He looks so mean.
Wario is the good guy.
What?
If
In
Mario's-
terms of-
if
well,
Mario's
no,
a
not in
villain-
that
Universe.
case. Mario barely saves. Pauline doesn't exist anymore. She's been wiped from this universe. In Princess Peach's case, Bowser's a horny jerk who's trying to get a...
So
Miyamoto may discredit it, but I, for one, believe that Bowser's 7 children come from where you least expect it.
okay, so we are going to get into
Technically,
dinosaur porn.
Bowser's not a dinosaur. He's based on a bull.
A bull?
Yes, he's supposed to be a bull-turtle combination.
Man, these guys are from Japan. They should be able to draw better.
He's
Not even
supposed to
supposed to
look
be a
like...
dragon.
No, if you look at him, he looks like a bull and a turtle. Look at his nose, hairs, the horns.
Looked like a
Really?
dinosaur to
I
me.
get some bull from him.
I think this is kind of going into bull.
Yeah, and him.
Yes.
Yes.
After the 6th Mario game was made, and that was called Mario Brothers. Not Super Mario Brothers, a different game called Mario Brothers. It was in the arcade, and it introduced the fact that Mario plumber, not a circus performer, and it
No,
also
a circus
introduced
trainer, not a performer.
circus trainer. I'm sorry, trainer for monkeys.
Who lost
Ape.
his monkey?
Gorillas.
Gorillas.
Gorillas are apes, not monkeys. Let's make that
And
clear.
I corrected myself, but what happens is in Mario Bros. They introduced Luigi. And the interesting thing about Luigi is that his name is actually double meaning.
What is it?
His name comes from the Japanese word Rui, and because the word is so similar to the Italian name Luigi, and because he's very similar to Mario, that's how he got the name.
What?
I am
Really?
not joking. Yes,
Seriously?
totally serious.
Noodle.
I'm good at dude. Kind of stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Now,
Who
you know,
comes up with this crap?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
And it makes money. My
makes
Tons
lots of
of
money.
it. To play a Mario game with Mario in a cat suit. It's adorable.
Oh yeah! No, wait a second. Wasn't there one? No, he wasn't in a cat suit. It was a raccoon suit.
No, yeah.
No,
in the
recently
recent one,
they've had a
he's
cat
got
suit.
God, no, because I remember.
Where he just ignores everything.
Oh, good lord!
All the rules of Mario are broken.
Because I
Why,
remember.
why
at
would
one
anyone
point he
want to play? Yeah. Why would anyone want to play in a cat suit? All my cat does, they sit on the floor.
It's a porn thing.
He's too busy being a ninja at night.
I don't have any male cats. What are you doing over there?
Cool. But you know what? You know, these are making lots of... Can't argue with
Yes, they are, and I love them to death.
Okay, but how about movies that didn't make lots of money?
What?
Oh, sorry, not movies. Video games.
Oh my god,
Video
it's
games?
digressing.
Let me think. On the topic
Or
of
mo-
Nintendo.
Yes, we are...
Well,
Oh,
you know, movies. Sorry, I keep getting stuck on movies. Video games that bombed.
Video
oh my god, did you take your...
No.
Okay, topic is video games. Go.
Can we talk underrated? Wait, we're talking about underrated Nintendo games?
Sure.
Can I talk about? Okay, two in particular. Start F-Zero.
Zero?
It was a launch title for the Super Nintendo. It was a racing game, and it was
Okay.
the most horror. You ever heard of Cap?
No.
I have.
Okay.
That's the game Captain Falcon is from. It was a
Oh.
race, and the whole idea. It's really hardcore, crazy. There's a sequel for the N64, and that's the one I grew up. I grew up on N64, in case you
Ah,
didn't.
okay.
The
And
only racing video game I remember is Pole Position.
oh well, then you're right.
I usually
He ha-
actually
he
your dad's pretty tall.
I'm talking about pole position, heel position. But in
Okay.
terms of F-Zero, Zero is absolutely crazy. It takes place into the far distant era. People only take entertainment in the mindless slaughter of each other.
The one man.
Sure. And the idea is that the main plot of F-Zero is that hardcore, super crazy racing. And that's what F-Zero is all about.
Oh, so basically, it's Death Race 2000. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
There are some pretty crazy, kooky characters.
Go.
Starting with F-Zero X, they introduced the concept of having 3 racers on screen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And because they introduced a move where you could kill each other
Nice.
and blow up the other racers. It's absolute craziness, and I loved it.
Changing topic. What was the other one?
Metroid.
Okay, this rings a bell.
Metroid has my video game protagonist. Aside from Sonic,
Uh-huh.
my favorite video game protagonist of all time. Samus Aran.
Good name.
I love it.
Iran, like the country.
A-R-A-N.
Okay.
And
And
the
what,
funny
what
thing,
about it? Is it he or she? She?
it's a she. Samus, again, the whole idea of the shock was that when you beat the game, you would see Samus out of her suit. Because the whole idea is that she wears this badass robot suit. And
Spoiler!
Wait. When
Yeah.
you say out of
Yes.
her suit,
You see how you suddenly got
Robot.
Moses' interest?
Yeah, it's a robot suit.
okay,
Yeah.
so when she's out of her suit,
He's going to be Googling
she's
her.
very sexy.
Easy now.
Very.
well, I'll look it
Yeah.
up later. I'm not going to look it up
I'm
now.
sure you will.
Wait, well, no, because
That's a lie.
considering what we're
lie.
talking about, we're going to have
That's a
to.
damn lie.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to show a slide of this character anyway for the video part of it.
Okay. All right.
So I
Fair
will
enough.
have to look it up.
That's a fair excuse. And, you know, when we start hearing your voice crackling out, it's because we know you're looking right now. So you just keep talking, buddy.
Yeah, I'll drool all over my keyboard.
I love Samus. She's my favorite
Okay,
female
you can
video
drool
game
all
protagonist.
over your keyboard.
Yeah. I'll leave the drooling to me.
No, but
And-
you know what? As you say, it is nice that, you know, they pushed the envelope. They made that switch in the end. And
And again, this was an NES game.
So this,
How-
is
how
way,
is the game-
this is way before Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, way before. Way before. And I like
Okay.
Samus a hell of a lot more than I like Lara Croft.
cool. So how was the gameplay?
It's an exploration platformer. Think Zelda, but 2D sci-fi.
All right.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I love just like Zelda, you get more power-ups to enhance your ability to explore and the ability to fight enemies, and you just get stronger and stronger, and it feels really good to get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, did they have any re-releases after? Like, you know, number 2?
The most recent Metroid game as of right now is Other M on the Wii, which gained a lot of controversy.
I'm sorry.
And
Which
I'll say
game? Sorry, which one?
Other Metroid Other M.
Okay.
Okay.
for the Nintendo Wii. It was released 6 years back, and it received a lot of controversy. But I'll say this much: the plot is god awful. The gameplay is gorgeous. Gameplay is wonderful.
Okay, and the source of the controversy is
the plot is so stupid, and
Okay.
they make Samus such a bumbling idiot.
okay.
Even though she was a better character in previous games.
Where she was silent and killed anything that could walk.
Ah,
Oh well.
Oh, so that's where the controversy came from.
The controversy came from her being a total idiot and being very
useless.
yes.
Okay.
She was also very talkative in her head,
That's not very exciting.
monologuing.
That's like the complete opposite of how you described the first games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did they do that on purpose? Was it, was this a sex thing? Was it,
I-
programmers making that choice?
I'm gonna make a wild guess and say that the game creator probably broke up with his girlfriend between the two games.
Well,
and this was his way of saying all women are bitches.
Well, here's okay. Anyway, the main plot for the Metroid series, which I will simplify, was that Samus lived on the human colony K2L,
Okay.
and on that colony they were attacked by space pirates.
Oh,
Yar.
darn space pirates.
Yes. Samus's parents were two head scientists of the colony, and they were eaten by a ravenous space dragon
Oh, I
named
hate
Ridley.
when that happens.
Oh, and here I thought it was going to be the ravenous bug bladder beast of Troll.
Is the name of the creature that ate Samus's parents was Ridley, and he was actually named after Ridley Scott,
Oh,
The creator, the director of Alien.
because Metroid takes a lot of inspiration from Alien. Yeah, Ridley eats Samus's parents. Ridley gets horribly damaged. He runs away, and Samus gets adopted by bird people named Chozo.
Really?
They infuse.
I'm sorry. At what point do you actually get to the gameplay?
Let me finish. We're nearly there.
Because
Chozo-
this is
the
starting to
Chozo-
make my head hurt.
Anyway, the Chozo raised Samus for a long time. They infuse her with Chozo blood. They give her a badass
Chozo blood.
Why
Yes.
would they infuse her with their blood?
because it gives her special powers. She doesn't, not anything like supernatural like laser eyes, but she's a lot more athletic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So she doesn't sprout wings or anything.
So you got these superpowers.
She.
Sorry.
She gets the powers, and they give her a super crazy, what's it called? A suit that they bind to her body, which she can activate and pull out whenever she wants. And it's not like Iron Man, where Iron Man needs to like physically put it on. She just thinks it, boom, in the suit.
Nice.
And she decides, I'm going to go out and become a bounty hunter.
Oh.
And she also wants to kill Ridley at some point, but
Clumsy
two different.
bounty hunter.
Well, in every previous game, she isn't. Other M decided it wanted to be stupid.
Yeah.
That's what. I'm just going to say
Stupid Samus?
some idiot stole her suit and ran off with it. That's what
Or
happened.
it's somebody else, which is why it's titled Other M.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go.
Aha!
That could be.
Well, they actually get the name of the game from the final line from the first Metroid game, which says, "The galaxy may be invaded by the other Metroid."
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why they don't call it Other Metroid. Although, thinking more about it, that'd be a very silly title.
Stop that! You're getting much too silly.
It was T for teen. Other M was T for teen.
And this was on the Wii.
Yes.
Where the hell
Don't
does
make fun of the Wii. I like the Wii.
I will
Clear
make
end.
fun of the Wii left and right.
The Wii is fun. I like the Wii.
Yes. We the
It's
people.
also the best-selling video game console of all time, so bite me.
Yeah, there you go.
Wii.
And now we got the
Surely
Wii
because of
U.
its audience.
I'm sorry.
What?
Anytime I hear the name Nintendo Wii, I remember the Gabriel Iglesias joke about it, and I'm going to leave it at that. You can look it up on YouTube.
I'd really rather not.
Okay, so Mo, you were talking about this rating thing.
Well, yeah, the ESRB, I think it's called. Much like the MPAA ratings for movies, the video game industry agreed to basically rate itself.
Yeah.
Self-rate
It's
itself?
awfully nice of them.
Did I just say that?
The ESRB was started by two things: Mortal Kombat
Yeah, I can see that.
and a Sega CD game called Night Trap, which had a lot of women and
Oh, yes, I remember
Yes.
this game. Yeah, there was quite a bit of controversy over that one.
Nintendo and Sega were in court about it. Nintendo was saying that Sega is, a lot of names you'd expect in the 90s.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sega was arguing that these, and I'm pretty sure this thing they pulled out of their asses just to make themselves seem like they were smart. Sega, do you remember the Super Scope for the Super Nintendo? It was like Zapper 2.0,
No.
but it was huge. It was like a bazooka. It looked like a rocket launcher. You held it on your shoulder. It was awesome.
Nice.
And Sega was basically saying, oh, it's like a rocket launcher. And then Nintendo, like magic, says, yeah, well, your Genesis has a light gun, so
there.
so there. And Sega was like, well, shit, we didn't expect them to pull out that card.
Is Sega even around anymore?
They are a third-party company. That means they make games for other consoles. They don't have their own consoles anymore.
Like Activision.
So where'd the rights to stuff like Sonic go?
It's still theirs. Sonic is theirs. They still own the rights to all their games. It's just that they don't make consoles anymore. They just make games.
So they just license it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So was it the Sega Saturn that kind of killed them, wasn't it?
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast, okay.
Which is a shame. The Dreamcast was really fun. I liked the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun games. You ever play Crazy Taxi?
No.
No? It's a game that you're playing as a taxi driver and you get points for driving like an insane maniac.
So it's a simulator.
Guess what it was called in Japan? Guess what it was called in
simulator.
Guess what it was called in Japan?
What was it called in Japan?
Guess what it was called in Japan?
Tell us what it was called in Japan!
New York Taxi.
Oh, so it was a simulator.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Okay.
And again,
was this like
you
a
got-
precursor to Grand Theft Auto or something?
It was just a taxi driver game where you got points for driving as much like a maniac as possible.
Oh, so
was
so
okay.
this is where, how many points do you get for running over the little old lady?
Oh, not that, really. It was a
Oh.
3D game. It was an arcade game around the time of the Dreamcast. It was in the late 90s.
Okay, so no running over little old ladies?
You don't get to run over people, but driving like a maniac, oh, that's fine.
Well, that's no fun.
So there's no pedestrians. You just have to hit cars and other
Well, no,
stuff.
hitting cars, that's not good, but driving off of ramps and just swerving like a maniac, oh, sure, go ahead.
Oh, is this kind of like that dead goat get thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Josh showed me a video game a while back that involved this dead goat flying through the air and hitting people.
Oh, that's
Oh, Goat Simulator.
Goat simulator.
Yeah,
Is that what it's
Goat
called?
Yes,
That
that
was
game is
just-
awesome.
that was just so
My
fucked
buddy-
up.
My little brothers have it on their computers. It's hilarious.
Well, what is it?
It's a goat simulator. You run around ramming people and licking stuff.
Josh, you were the one that introduced me to this thing. Why don't you give me
Yeah.
give us a rundown here?
You are basically a goat that runs around and does what
I mean,
he
does
pleases.
it have stats
Yeah.
or anything like that, or is it?
Oh, you can level
get points
up.
from hitting stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
so the goat isn't dead?
No.
The goat's alive.
Not
No,
an
he
undead
just went
goat.
limp while he was hitting everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
If you were actually playing a game like that, he would stand up again afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And
It's beautiful.
I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the objective to
Get
hit
as
so
much
many
points as
things,
possible.
and then it levels, or
It's just
Nope.
points.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
point game.
cool.
Wow.
I hadn't even heard of it.
Fun.
It's very recent. Very recent.
Yeah.
What was it? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's its rating? R.
Rating? No. I'd have to see. Let me.
I'd say at
No,
most. Maybe
Goat
10.
Simulator. Here we are. Goat Simulator is. Oh, why you don't give me anything?
Because it's on Steam.
Oh.
I know.
It's on what?
Yes,
Open
sir.
Steam.
It's on Steam.
What's
Yeah.
Steam?
It's,
You don't- Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Seriously, I haven't really.
How
played,
old are you?
I
Yeah,
haven't really
really.
played a video game. Since.
Okay,
They're a
Gabe
piece-
Well, Half-Life 3, there.
What?
They're a PC game distributor.
Imagine
Online.
having a game console built into your computer.
What's
I
happening?
guess that's the way to look at it.
You
Yeah.
just download it's like a program. You download Steam, and then you can buy games and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
It's completely free.
So
Steam is
it's like an
complete-
iTunes for video games, but doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think Goat Sim would be at E10 though, because it doesn't have any blood or gore, and
Found the
at
official
most it's
rating.
not violence.
I found the official rating for it. It's T for teen.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. I think it might have something to do with the satanic goat.
Oh, maybe.
There's a satanic goat.
Yeah, but it's only
takes a bunch-
teen.
Yeah, it's only teen. Satanic goat doesn't call for anything too serious. Just ramped up a bit.
So
and then
would
Oh,
do you think it's the fact that it's a satanic goat makes it more interesting than the rating?
Well, it's more. The joke is that in the game you can become different goats, like satanic goat,
giraffe
legion
goat. Oh my
giraffe
God.
goat. I like
Oh,
the
sorry,
whale
tall goat. My bad.
tall goat. What was the whale called?
There was a whale?
There was a whale. My
Wait,
little
are
brother's
we still talking about the goat?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
So the goat becomes a whale?
There's a whale mode. You can play as a whale.
What's wrong with that?
So you literally just plop down in the middle of the road and start...
Yes.
Spewing from your blowhole?
No, you just.
It's a
roll
whale!
around.
You're supposed to... The whales spew from their blowhole. I'm not being sexual.
But you're not in the water. You can't spew any. What? You want to spew people out of there? 'Cause that's gross.
It's a video not off.
No, it's a video game, but you're a whale in the middle of the city.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
it's-
water to go out of the
and-
blowhole.
And video games are based in reality. Yeah. And
Okay,
aunt,
well-
and my Aunt Golda weighs only 100 pounds.
Okay. All that aside, you mentioned something really interesting there. You talked about Steam, and Steam is a great platform. I remember I started getting involved with Steam when they were early on, and the beautiful thing about Steam was the fact that a lot of programmers who were programming their own stuff could get onto Steam pretty easy. A lot of the games were cheap. Like literally, you'd see a game there for $1. Or for like 50 cents. And the whole purpose of that was just to get some people interested in them. And games that started really catching on turned into mega games. Like, I'm not sure how League of Legends started.
Not
but
on Steam.
It was on Steam or wasn't it?
It's not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on Steam.
Not everything on Steam.
Oh, okay. I
Some
thought it
PC
was.
game. Oh, it's because of Dota.
Oh, okay. Oh, Dota. What's Dota?
My little brother loves Dota. It's a lot like. Would you say it's like League?
Yeah.
Yeah. My best friend Mitchell entered a public Super Smash Brothers tournament and he won.
And so what does that entail?
Well, it's a public tournament. It's not a huge cash prize, but he got some.
No, that's not what I mean. But I mean, what did he have to do to get involved, and how did he go up the
He
ranks?
just had to sign his name and then boom, he's in.
Oh, so it was open.
Well, it was an open tournament. It was a public tournament.
Oh, I see, okay.
There are the big ones and then there are the public ones. And
Okay.
Cool.
someday I'd love to get involved in public Smash Brothers tournaments because me and my little brother can kick some Smash ass.
So consider this. So you guys realize it's only a matter of time before some big-name gamer is actually going to have his career completely destroyed by some sex scandal. Just like Tiger Woods and Kobe Bryant and...
Well, that kind of happened to a YouTuber. It wasn't a big kind of gamer. He does games on YouTube for League of Legends.
Oh.
And I'm not subscribed to him. This is just something that I heard from all the controversy that happened. But apparently, he got in trouble for, I can't remember exactly, but he lives in a country where the age of consent is lower than ours.
Oh.
So he got in trouble for having sex with a fan that was at that age around.
Ooh.
And then, but they were at age of consent in his country.
Right.
Okay.
But in another country, or like ours, I think, another YouTuber that normally doesn't say anything seriously, brought it up and made fun of him a whole bunch, and he lost like 90% of his subscribers.
Wow.
God damn, that's horrible.
It's killer.
Hard to believe that YouTube... I mean, a little bit off topic, but it's hard to believe that things like YouTube and playing video games is such a big money concern nowadays. I mean...
Yeah. Well, a lot of my older friends who quit their day jobs to become full-time YouTube partners because of how popular they are. So
What does that mean? What is YouTube?
it means that they make money off of just making their regular YouTube videos.
So ad revenue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A video goes viral, and God knows. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite other podcasts, the Nerdist podcast, and their favorite joke is all these big corporations come to them asking them, "We want you to help us build a viral video." And it's like, Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Actually, to that point, here's a question to you guys. If you're playing a game and it has a rather difficult level or a challenging boss or something like that, and you need help doing it, usually you can go online and look at a video of someone who's probably done it, has tips and whatnot, and you can teach yourself, what you need to do, what the order of movement should be, and so forth. And I know they do that a lot for raiding and games that have that. Now, do you think that helps or hurts the actual game itself?
It
depends on the game.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been playing almost like that my whole life. If I have a game that I know that may be a little too difficult for me, and I need a little bit of a push, I will watch how other people play and learn their strategies and merely adapt it into my own and see if that helps.
Right.
One of the most notable things that comes to my mind is Team Fortress 2. Again, it's an online shooter, so it's not the same as many other games, but when it comes to how it plays, I feel that when I watch someone who's really good at the game, and when I'm done, I decide, hey, I want to play a bit.
Yeah.
I end up playing a lot better in the long run because I'm taking in how they play and their strategy.
I remember when we played video games back in the day, for arcade games, there was actually a book that would come out once a year that actually would tell you, based on each video game that came out that in the past year, what the pattern was.
Yeah, but as you say, that it was always printed well after the fact. And
Yeah.
This is sort of leading me into my next question. If I'm making a game now, do you think that I would purposely make this a little bit harder, knowing that people may go look these things up? Do you think that actually...
I don't think you would gain anything from that. I don't see any point for that, because...
Yeah, but where's the fun in having a game that you know how to beat it?
Well, people do.
Well, here's a good example for me, is Mega Man. I don't know if any of you guys played Mega Man, but...
No.
I remember
The basic-
it, but I don't remember playing
I
it.
love Mega Man so much, but the basic idea is that unlike other games at the time, you got to choose which level you play first, and after you beat that level, you get the power of the boss, and each boss is powerful against another boss. So that led to a lot of people creating patterns on which pattern you should beat the boss. But the big idea of the replay value of Mega Man is seeing what kind of patterns you can go with and how good you are at the game by coming up with these absolutely ludicrously difficult patterns and going with completely random bosses.
Right.
And with some Mega Man games, that can be really fun. Mega Man 2 in particular is one of the most famous in the franchise for doing that and letting you do that. If you want a really easy gameplay time, start with Bubble Man. If you want a really difficult time, start with whoever the hell you want, Airman.
What systems are these on? What systems are these
The original Mega Man? The
Yeah.
Mega Man series? Well, I'm glad you asked, because coming soon, Mega Man Anniversary Collection will be coming out on Steam, 3DS, PS4, and pretty much all the big consoles, which is Mega Man 1 through 6 on one neat little package.
Very nice. Very
I already have all the games, so it doesn't matter.
cool.
Okay.
Nice. So, I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at, because back in the day when I used to play WoW, obviously it was the thing to do. Everyone was yelling at that if you didn't know how to deal with the boss, you had to go online and figure it out before you came back.
Forgive my ignorance. WoW is World of Warcraft, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone would be yelling at me because I didn't go look it up, so I'd have to go and study before I could come back and play.
I'm sorry, the only thing I know about World of Warcraft is the South Park episode. So
Yeah.
Only thing I know about World of Warcraft is Leroy Jenkins.
who?
I don't think I like you anymore.
Welcome to my world.
Okay. Quick synopsis. You can look it up on YouTube. You'll find it instantly.
Fine.
Leroy Jenkins is a player. He was with his team on WoW, and I don't know exactly what they're doing because I don't know anything about WoW. But what happened was they had this huge plan, and Leroy went off and was getting himself some chicken. He did not tell anybody. He was off his microphone. He didn't tell anybody that he had his headphones off. So when he came back, he didn't hear any of the plan. He didn't know anything. So he just ran out and shouted, "Leroy Jenkins!" And he got them all killed.
Nice. That's awesome.
He's kind of an internet celebrity. It was back in 2006, 2007.
really?
When that video
Oh my
came out.
goodness.
That's pretty cool.
I love him. It's amazing. It's now kind of a thing around my brothers to shout that when we do something.
Ray Jenkins.
Yeah.
All right. I got it now. Keep an eye out for it now. Now I'll understand it then. Cool.
That's awesome.
So okay. So I mean, we've covered off a lot of stuff that we were chatting about from the previous episodes, and I think you had a term that we had last time we were talking about. What was it? Swatting, and and Pete's big thing about gamer girls. So I think there was a term that you wanted to talk about here.
Who, me?
Not you.
Oh, well, fine.
Bandwagon.
Well, one good example of that is a popular horror game that came very recently.
Very recently. There's already 4 entries.
I'm sorry. Is this
four of
Five
them in
Nights
like the
at
last
Freddy's?
year?
Is that a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, it's a reference to Chuck E. Cheese.
The
Chuck
whole
E.
idea.
Cheese?
Okay, quick synopsis for the game. The creator of the game is Scott Cawthon. Scott Cawthon previously made games before, and the biggest complaint about his games was how disturbing they were, because all the characters looked like the animatronics you'd see at an old Chuck E. Cheese. And he was very distraught about this. So he used it to his own advantage and made a horror game based in pretty much parody Chuck E. Cheese called Five Nights at Freddy's. And the whole idea is that you're the security guard and you need to make it till 6 a.m. And it's very horrifying having 4 animatronics wanting to stuff you in a suit and kill you.
And the major draw of the game is that, unlike other horror games, you have no way of fighting them, you can only hide from them, and you can't move from where you are all night.
So what do you do?
Wait a second. So how do you hide from them if you can't move?
Well,
Close the
there is
doors.
you can close the doors, you can turn on the lights, and before you say, why don't you keep the doors closed all night? This place has the worst power supply in all of anywhere. So if you waste all your power supply, you won't be able to turn on your flashlight, you won't be able to close the doors, and Freddy finds a keyboard player for his band.
Okay, wait a second. What's the problem with having a keyboard player?
He plays it.
He plays a song that's really creepy and stares at you.
And then he kills you.
That's the aria, the Toreador aria.
Yes, I know. And I don't know why they choose that
But
part.
actually, it was made far more famous on Gilligan's Island.
I know, but...
For those of our listeners... Oh, Dave, do you remember this?
No, because it's off topic.
No, I don't care. Because this is something I can actually talk intelligently about. All this stuff about video games, I barely know anything.
All right, how do I mute you while we continue on this good conversation?
We
Fine.
can't.
I'll get an MP3 clip of the song and put it in.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Okay, so you're in this Chuck E. Cheese and you're hiding from this guy, but what? So what?
4 of them.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so what does this have to do with bandwagons?
Well, the thing is, it became very, very popular very quickly, and it was unexpectedly popular. So what happened was, because of that, a whole lot of other game developers decided, this became popular very quickly. I'm going to copy it. And the result is, they didn't get any... the only popularity they got was off the back of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
If they had put this out without Five Nights at Freddy's being popular, they would have gotten nothing.
Oh.
But instead, they got some of the leftover.
Your own opinion, but
Right.
I feel that if you are going to jump on a bandwagon, at least try to make something that set yourself apart from the rest.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, what about, there's another term that somebody brought up beforehand, that MOBA, massive what's it called?
Massive online battle arena.
Yeah, okay, well, explain this to me.
Basically, there's 5 players on each team, and they have to defeat the other player or the other team's base, going through towers and each other to finally win the game.
I've never heard of this, so I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Oh.
But is it always 5 players?
Most
5?
versions of MOBAs contain 5 players. Sometimes they deviate,
You
Okay,
say that
but
kinda
very
reminds me of-
rarely. Very rarely.
What's the most popular version of this type of...
Most popular, I would say, is League of Legends because it has the most players. Dota has the second most, and Smite would have the third.
Okay.
I like
So-
that.
Which,
so
which one's your
basically-
favorite?
It depends on which way you're asking.
Which
Should
one
you
do you like most?
I like Dota, but I can't play it because I started out with League of Legends.
My little brother Shuey started with Dota, and he still plays, and he loves it.
I'm sorry.
I
Why
enjoy-
does the one preclude you from playing the other?
Well, the thing is, the playstyle in League of Legends
Very different.
is very different, but like the premise of it is like a carbon copy. So I'm trying to play it in the same way I would. I'm trying to play Dota in the same way I would with League of Legends, but I just can't
Is it
because
like-
that's not how it works.
Oh,
Is
so
it-
it's not. You have to have a completely different mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think it is about these types of games that are making them popular?
I don't know.
Is it? I mean, is it
What
the
is it-
character building, or is it?
What is it that grabs you?
At this point, it's just the only game that I'm able to continue playing the way I am because it's given me so many hours of gameplay, and it just keeps giving more stuff.
Oh, no.
The reason League of Legends and Dota, I guess, keep going is every few months or less, they release a new character that you can play as, and then everyone gets hyped up about the game all over again.
Now, do you find it's? Do you play one character, or do you play a variety of characters, or?
You play one character in a team of 5. You can play a different character each game, but it's the one character, and you progress throughout the game in the matter of an hour tops.
So,
And then you do that again with a different character or the same character against different people or with different people.
So what happens after the hour to the character? Does it reset?
It's scrapped.
Oh.
It's just gone. And then you start over again with the same character or a different character in a different situation.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's one thing that is very different because, it's if the character only has a life expectancy of an hour, there's not going to be a whole lot of variance between, one person isn't going to have a huge advantage over another.
No. But that is one of the issues in League of Legends is there's a system outside of the game where you can increase your character's abilities and stats before the game. But that costs in-game currency, which takes a lot of time to accumulate.
Okay. But,
Okay, wait a second. Does in-game currency translate to real currency at some point somewhere along the way?
No. Well, no.
I mean, do you have to pay anything? Because I hear that there are games that are like that.
Yeah.
Pay to play freemium, as it's called.
Freemium.
Yes.
I love
That's
that
not
term.
League of Legends and Dota, luckily.
Yes.
There are other ones like that.
Yeah.
I don't
But
like mommy, the pretty costumes. I want to spend $2 on the pretty costumes.
that's
Yeah.
League of
We
Legends
just-
and Dota.
Okay,
That's
sorry,
where
you were
all of-
saying, Josh?
Yeah.
There's two different currencies in League of Legends. There's the in-game one, and then there's the one where you put your actual money in. And the one where you put your own money in is the only way you can get costumes, as Jonah called them, for
The
characters.
mummy.
Yeah.
The in-game currency can buy your characters for you, but you can also use your real money to buy the characters. Most of the time, people tend to use their in-game currency because you only have to play games to get that. rather than-
I've started playing a little while ago was World of Tanks, and it's also a free game, and the graphics are really good and so forth. But it unfortunately has that sort of backdoor where if you pay with real money, you can get gold, and with gold you can get premium tanks, and with premium, and then you can get gold ammo, which increases your armor penetration. And so, when you're chucking along with your regular tank, and all your shots are bouncing off these premium tanks, and they can shoot right through your armor because they've spent the money.
Well, that's just no fun.
Exactly.
One of the reasons that people do stay with League of, or at least claim to say that they do stay with League of Legends, is they say, I've spent too much money on this game to give up.
Quite a few women that I know are playing this farm game, which
Farmville?
is basically... Sorry?
Farmville, maybe?
It could very well be. You basically have sheep and cows and chickens, and you gotta and they produce a certain whatever, and you gotta pick it up, otherwise they'll disappear. And you gotta keep coming on it. And if you want, you can have it linked to your Facebook. So whenever your cow is ready to do what it's got to do, you'll get a little text message that you need to come onto the game so you can come and collect it.
So your phone will suddenly jingle, your cow is about to moo?
You'll get a text, yeah. Oh, yeah, a text. Oh, and then usually these things are hooked up through Facebook, so I mean, whatever contacts you have. So you can share that everyone in your group knows that you now have a level 20 cow or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how the gameplay goes.
Yeah, stuff like that does happen. And you can also request certain stuff like certain resources. Like if you were to go on that game, you can say, "Hey, everybody I know on Facebook, send me a cow, please."
Every single one of you who does that, go.
Yeah.
And we're now into Candy Crush territory again. Oh dear
Yes,
God.
that
Oh
happens.
God,
Yeah,
I
it
hate that
happens.
game. I hate that.
But you know what? These things are making money. These
Yeah.
little pearls of a little bit of money here and there.
they are little round globules of irritation, aren't they?
Well, that you know what? Facebook is making a killing off of these games.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
Okay,
Geek Talk back.
Geek Talk
Let's
back.
get it
What do we
wrapped
got? Let's check.
What do you have?
I'm sorry?
What do you have?
What do I have?
Yes. Make it
Okay,
good.
well, we actually got from somebody the other day, oh geez, I should have written it down.
Yes, you should have.
In regards to our sci-fi and fantasy episode, we did get a comment on the YouTube page that we probably would have had an easier time not arguing with each other about which movie was sci-fi and which movie if we'd actually started off by agreeing on a definition of sci-fi and a definition of fantasy. And I should.
That was me.
We could have used you then.
The truth of the matter was that we did actually we did actually try to hammer down a specific definition before we started recording, and we figured that it would actually be a lot more fun to just leave it open so that we could argue about it. Because that was where the real fun was, in us basically just disagreeing with each
Torches
other.
and pitchforks here. Got your torches and pitchforks here. $5 a piece. Don't kill each other, getting them. Kill each other after you get them.
Rhubarb.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, and as well for people that are listening, we wanted to leave the door open for them for their own interpretations of what was fantasy and sci-fi.
Okay.
So, but it's a good question. Yeah. I guess
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And here I thought we had more listeners, but no, it was my son.
Well, actually, we do, even though it's always nice to have family supporting, but we do actually have others out there, and I actually got this
Like
one.
me.
Well, there you go, you see?
I'm here.
So there we are. But, no, actually, I got this other comment. It was actually, oddly enough, about the same episode. So you see, the concept of it may have actually helped.
More episodes where we disagree on everything.
Oh, that's pretty easy then.
Yes, it is.
So it was also about the sci-fi and fantasy episode.
Yeah.
And one of the one of the listeners had emailed me and they were saying that, or they had actually sent me some links about the argument about Frankenstein, on whether or not it was just an animated monster or whether or not it was actually something that was brought back to life.
Oh, okay.
And so it was about that conversation that we had because I was adamant that it was just an and you were
Sorry,
talking
about who just orgasmed?
That was not.
Frankenstein is exciting.
Okay, sorry, Josh.
That just reminded me of a point that I wanted to make about that episode.
Okay,
yes,
write
please.
it down. Hold on one second.
Okay, hold that thought.
We'll
Dave,
move that up
continue.
next. So I got these articles and so forth. So I started going through some of them just to see what different people's opinions were about Frankenstein and whether or not it was really brought back to life and so forth. And even though there's a lot of grayness still out there on whether or not it was actually living, sentient, and so forth, the bottom line is that did it have living cells? The general consensus is no. Could it reproduce? Again, consensus
No.
was no, hence
Yes.
the movie, Bride of Frankenstein. So, those things sort of put it sort of on the down low on whether or not it was actually alive or not. But I have to concede, though, that he did learn from his actions, and it did change his behavior. So that does show, in my opinion, show signs of consciousness more so than I had originally thought. So I may have to give you another nod on that particular topic. That Frankenstein is more on the fence of life or not life than I had thought. I thought it was pretty plain that it was that he wasn't. But after reading these other articles and so forth,
Moses.
it's kind of great, huh?
Shock, another one for Moses.
Well, shock one up, because I have to
there's
throw
been
him a
more
bone
than
every
one.
once in a while, and so this is the bone. So
Well,
here
the
you
big
go.
the
buddy.
big difference is that Dave only saw the movies. I actually read the book.
Well, but you.
Are we going there?
But what
Are we
reference were you making? Hello, you were making reference to the movie.
going-
Goodbye.
No, still here. Okay, so Josh, what was your thought before you
Yeah.
blushed?
Well, during one of your arguments in the one about Avatar,
Okay.
Wait a second. Which Avatar are we talking about? Are we talking I See Blue People, or are we talking the really
did
horrible?
you guys talk about the Airbender in that episode?
In the sci-fi fantasy episode? No, we just talked about I See Blue People.
Then,
Okay, sorry. Continue, Mr. Snarky
you guys
Pants.
one of you was arguing about the conscience being something spiritual.
Yeah.
That could be rebuked by saying that because the avatars were made in a lab, they could have used technology to implant some way of communicating by radio waves between the unconscious human body and the conscious avatar body.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay, I could see that, but then why would the actual real body then have to be inanimate during that whole time?
Because how would your brain be able to comprehend controlling both?
Interesting.
The human
And-
brain isn't designed to control two bodies at once.
Ah, so now we're going into Pacific Rim territory.
I love that movie.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
okay, this time we're 3 against 1, Dave. You lose. And so now we got 3 people that loved Pacific Rim.
Except
Yeah,
Dave's
Dave.
argument at the end saying that they were communicating with the Earth, the actual planet, and all of the animals on the planet at once.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, the real blue people were. That's what his argument. Not the avatars.
No, but he was one of them.
The avatars were sci-fi, but the actual Na'vi are fantasy.
Well, they're aliens, so technically they're sci-fi as well.
Well, yeah,
But-
but I'm pretty sure the planet or the islands weren't floating by anti-grav.
I'm
They
talking
talked
the
about
actual
that as
aliens,
being a
but-
certain type of matter, as magnetic matter that was very expensive.
The point is, aliens.
Okay,
Okay.
so we have gotten some good stuff here.
Good stuff.
And a lot of good laughs, which I'm always very happy about. Okay, so that's it for another episode of Geek Talk MD. Tune in 2 weeks' time when we're going to discuss God knows what. We've already got a few ideas, but Dave and I are going to have to argue for a couple of days about what it's
Yay!
going to be. So
then I'll be sending out what we'll be doing about. But
yeah, so thank you so much to our guests, Josh,
absolutely.
Jonah.
Yay.
Good job,
This has
guys.
been a long time in the making.
Shuffleheart.
What?
You were away for that conversation.
I get to play more Pokemon Shuffle. Yay! I'm kidding.
I'm sure that we're going to bring you both back for other episodes because this was a lot of
I
fun.
would love it.
Maybe
Yeah,
not
this was a lot of
necessarily
fun.
both of you together at the same time, but
Oh,
But
I'll miss you.
if you again, like everybody else, if you have topic ideas, let us know. And like these guys, like Pete and whoever else, if you have topic ideas, we'd
and
love
Ross
to have you on.
and Andrew, yeah. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you again, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
And that's it for another episode. Put away your lucky dice, pack up
Yep.
the Chinese food menus, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, all.